What's up, everybody? Saltiest Gaming, and we're back with another podcast. All right, episode 12 coming at you live, TSP, the Saltiest Podcast. We're going to be using that abbreviation from here on out. It's kind of popular to do that. It's kind of easy to do. We'll see how it goes, though. What's up, everybody? How's it going, chat? How's it going, Jago? We got a special guest tonight, Pun Kiddish Gaming.
Brother.
How's it going, Rose?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Yeah. So what's new, man?
Sir.
What's new, Jago? It's been a week. What's good, brother?
Life's the same. Just trying to survive and play some video games, brother. That's it.
That's good, man. Punk Kiddish, what's up, man? We're down one. We're actually down 3 people right now. Nick's going to be stopping by quite shortly. He had some family
He's going to drive through a McDonald's right now.
He's picking up a Happy Meal. What is up? Oh, snap. It's Mel. What's going on? What's up, Siberia? Stinking Corpse. What's good, chat? Letting the room fill up. So what do you guys been playing this week? What's good?
Go. Me? You want me to go?
Yeah.
Good God. Let's see. I was playing some Quantum Break, going back through that yesterday. I love that game. Game is fantastic. If you knocked it, shame on you. And then I was playing Titanfall, of course. Titanfall 2. I love that game. Playing some last night with Stinking Corpse on Frontier Defense. If you haven't played Frontier Defense, shame on you. If you like Gears and Horde mode, it's just like that, and it's fantastic. But you got to know what you're doing. You can't be in there with a bunch of scrubs. I can tell you that now. It's hard, especially if you get the master or insane difficulty. Woo!
Yeah, I do.
It's good. So you guys are trying to get through that. You got stuck on wave 4, I think you were telling me.
Well, no, we didn't get past wave 3 on master difficulty because it was just me and Stinking Corpse last night. We had to do randoms every time, and man, you would get your ass handed to you. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Woo, you got to have people that have played Titanfall and know what they're doing.
Yeah, that normal difficulty was pretty. It wasn't tough. It was just it was kind of challenging. So
when we played, just imagine that time on master. Imagine that time. I'll say 5 or 10 harder. It's crazy, dude. And we haven't even got to insane mode yet. But
so you getting some. You can't getting some scrubs coming in as your randoms.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the match, but you can't play it. You can't get to that like master or whatever unless you're Titan, one Titan, or all your Titans are up to an Aegis level like 11 or 14. So you actually have to play Frontier Defense to level up your Titan so you can play the harder difficulty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. And who was I talking to? I think it was we were talking about Angry Joe's review when Titanfall came out, the year it came out. I think it was, what was it, 2016 it came out? I don't know. It's been out for a little bit.
It came out last year in October.
He actually ranked it in his top 5 video games. So I mean, that game doesn't get enough credit for what it is, first-person shooter wise. It legit. The mechanics of the game, and then the fact that they're doing these free updates. This Frontier Defense is just an example of one of these free updates that you get to play, and you're not, bogged down with microtransaction. I think that this game, it's a shame that EA, did what they did with it, So
well, like I said, if you're a fan of Gears and you're a fan of Horde and you're a fan of multiplayer on Gears or any multiplayer. It's got something for everybody. It's got regular multiplayer, then it's got the Frontier Defense, which is like Horde mode. And if you don't want to play against real people that sit up on rooftops and snipe and camp and all that crap, the bots don't do that. They just come right at you. The Titans don't do that, of course, and then the bots they don't jump up on the roofs unless you're dealing with the mortar specters, and they're expected to do that. You know what I'm saying? Or the mortar Titans. That's all they do. But you don't run into cheating ass people online just trying to camp. It's fun, man. It didn't get enough respect. I agree.
Yeah. Speaking of chat, snap it smell. I want to just give a quick thought out to Xbot. He's dealing with some health issues. Our thoughts and prayers go out to him. He's one of the best dudes in the community, and he just had some surgery. I just want to let you know and let him know if he's listening, that our thoughts and prayers go out to him. So yeah, shout out to XBot. Sorry about that. So Punkidish, what's up, dude? What do you been playing?
Weight game like everybody else in here. I got like a rack of games just sitting on my shelf. I got Forza, Gears, Assassin's Creed, and Call of Duty. The only thing I've really dabbled with is a little bit of Call of Duty. That's with my brother-in-law lately. But besides that, I'm just waiting on that X, man.
That's cool. So
a little bit of Black Ops 3, a little bit, but that's about it.
That's cool. Nice, man. Well,
everybody say what's up to Nick. He just got back from the drive-thru.
What's up?
Oh, nice. Welcome back, man.
Hey, welcome.
What's up?
You're on Missouri Standard Time? I mean, you get caught up in the daylight savings time, or what happened, man? You get caught up in an alternate dimension? What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, just doing some family stuff, and it was you don't turn down the parents pretty much at this, at that point.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
So,
let's be honest, Nick. Your family was playing your Switch, right? They were all up on it.
well, they were, but I was not playing my Switch. I was too busy doing stuff from my parents, and you can't turn that down. So I got here as fast as I could.
Well, thanks for being here, buddy. We missed you. So, what have you been playing, Nick? What's going on?
I've been playing that Switch. Warframe, and that's pretty much it right now. I'm really excited about playing the Switch, and I'm actually looking up some Black Friday sales for Black Friday and all that stuff. And so just the Switch that I got. We've been playing Warframe, 2K still, Madden still. I'm still part of that Madden league. I've been playing. I'm trying to really play a widespread of games. That way, I don't get bored just playing the same game over and over again.
That's good, man. So we're gonna get into that Switch. I want you guys to talk about the Switch, the people that have got some hands on, because I personally don't have the Switch. I would like to get one, but it is what it is. But we will get into that when it comes. I'm going to talk about what the games that I've been personally playing. I was lucky enough to receive an alpha invite for Sea of Thieves. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but let's just say that I'm hyped. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. I've also been playing. It's pretty much the only game I've been playing is Warframe. So
yeah,
I've been knee deep in that game, just to say the least. I'm a big looter shooter guy, and it's scratching that itch I have. I love Borderlands. What's up?
I was going to just ask you, is it a Destiny killer?
No.
Personally, I would say okay, so if you're hardcore into the loot grind and earning your guns and having things to do, it's a very grindy game, and it scratches that itch. So Destiny, unfortunately, has gone very casual, and that's good for someone. Some people, because depends on if you like that or not. So I wouldn't know. I know it's not the Destiny killer, but it definitely is a time filler for if in between DLC, because the content's not going to last for people. And Activision actually had a conference call with all their people, and they brought up the fact that it's cool that people drop the game for a while and they come back. They want people to actually do that. So if you're a hardcore Destiny player, it's not going to scratch the itch that you had, or the expectations that you have for this game from year one. It's not going to do that. That game is gone. Okay, so we'll just put that across. It's changed, and I guess that's a good thing for some people, and it's not for others. That open world update's gonna be coming out for Warframe, and I'm super excited for that. That's gonna be coming out in November, in the middle of November. So I'm looking forward to that. So anyway, that was a long-winded response. Thank you everybody for being here.
Yes, sir.
We'll shout you out, feel free to get salty in chat. Have some good discussions there. The chat's been pretty lit the last couple of weeks. I love seeing you guys go back and forth. Let's get into today's first topic. PUBG finally gets a release date. So I'm sure you guys have heard this. It feels like PUBG has been in the news. I don't know about you guys, but it feels like PUBG has been talked about for 3 years to me.
It does.
Yeah,
I don't know why. But 12/12/2017 is the date, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So it's to be coming out in December. So I have a quick question for you guys. How do you guys feel about that date, and do you think it's going to kind of be swallowed up by these bigger AAA titles? Let's start off with Nick. I want to hear your opinion about this. What are your thoughts on PUBG getting a date?
I think it's an interesting release date. You would think that if they were going to really try to get it to, I guess, compete, they would have had it come out earlier. December 12th, by that time, everybody's done with their Christmas shopping or anything like that. Traditionally people are done with their Christmas shopping after Black Friday 12th. There's really nothing going on. So I mean, I guess since it's already, coming out and it's going to be released on Xbox, I guess that's a good place to put it if nobody's looking forward to anything. I guess that's a way to maximize profit. If about that time no game's coming out and here comes PUBG, I mean, I think it's an interesting spot to put it. And for me personally, I think it's a good place to put it for me personally because we have these games coming out and these single player games, we're gonna beat them and we're gonna get bored. We're bored of Destiny and we're playing Warframe right now, and then we're gonna end up hopping on PUBG, and this also comes out right around the same time I think the DLC for Destiny comes out. So it hits, personally for me, it hits a good spot, just as for content to play. So I'm excited for it. I just think it's interesting that they picked that. But like I said, I think it's a good spot because it won't have to compete with anything either.
I agree. Diego, what do you think about this date? Do you think it's going to get swallowed up by the AAAs, or is it in a good position, man?
I think it's in a good position, man, because the hype level behind it, being honest. I think it's its own different animal, to be honest with you. I think that, as popular it is on PC, it's got the hype train rolling behind it, and at the end of the day, it's just an online shooter, but it's a huge online shooter. I think people will play the Call of Duties, the Wolfensteins, and the Evil Withins, and all this, and at the end of the day, when they're done with the stories, or they're just tired of that kind of multiplayer, they'll jump on PUBG. And for the price point, I think it's going to be very successful for a long time on the Xbox.
Yeah, I've been on a couple podcasts, and I've made it clear that I feel like this genre is, it's a newer genre, so I don't think it's going to compete at all with the Call of Duties of the world or the Battlefronts. It's kind of in a league of its own, which is a good thing for Xbox. Punk, what's your thoughts on PUBG getting a release date, and do you think it's going to have problems?
I don't think it's going to have any problems. I mean, it's good that it finally got a release date. Xbox needed it. You can have people that are going to love it. You can have people that could really care less about it. I mean, it's there. It's a great game that you can hop into, play with your friends, or you just want to hop in solo, knock out a couple rounds. Or you're going to have your hardcore people that are just going to go in and hit it hard, probably from Jump Street, and play for the next year straight. Who knows, But that's pretty much my thoughts on it. But it's a good thing for Xbox. We need it. And I know the community's been waiting for it for a long time.
Yeah, it's good. I'm just happy that they were able to get the release date in December, so they kept it in 2017, because it very easily could have bled into 2018.
Very easily.
Specifically that they've had problems with that. Was worried about it because the way they were talking, Bluehole was talking specifically, like they sounded like they were over their heads. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Because they weren't expecting the game. No one could have predicted the success that this game is having on the PC level, let alone trying to move it to the console side. So the fact that Microsoft sent engineers out to work with them to get this game out, and I don't think that Microsoft is getting enough, praise for that, because let's be honest, if they didn't do that, this game, there's no way in heck it was going to be reaching dates. I don't even think it would have been out within 2018, to be honest. Like, if Microsoft didn't send the people and didn't show that they were fully supported behind this game, there's no way in heck it would have been coming to consoles within 2018. That's just my opinion.
Oh, no.
Did you guys hear that there's a physical release for the game? Did you guys see the hard copies that are?
Yep.
On there? It says console exclusive. Okay, so that's the big, topic of debate on social media. There's been some, conflict of words out there by Xbox. They haven't specifically come out and said, hey, this is an exclusive, it's going to stay an exclusive. What do you guys think? Like, there's, mismatch of communication. I know Jago's talked about this before, that he's had a problem with, the way Microsoft does its thing. Is it going to be a console exclusive, or, is it going to be going to PlayStation?
It's going to PlayStation.
It's going to PlayStation, man.
I think you gotta be realistic here. I mean, just the way they're talking about it, just doesn't sound like anything's really set in stone. So I just have no doubt it's going to get there eventually. When? Who knows? But it's going.
At the end of the day, the world. I mean, we do live in a free country, and you can say what you want to say to sell consoles and to sell software. And if it is a console exclusive for only a year, well, Microsoft, they do, do some crazy shit sometimes. But if it's a console exclusive for a year, you can actually say it's console exclusive. You don't have to say console exclusive for 1 year on the box. Why would they do that? I understand, but I do think it's going to PlayStation.
Well, a year is all they need, really.
Yeah.
If they get it for a year is all they're really going to need. And it'll eventually it'll go to PlayStation. It will. But I think by that time it may have already wore off, the luster of it and the hype of it will have already rolled off. And if you get a year, that's a year that Xbox can potentially make sales on the Xbox One X. If people really want to play PUBG that bad on console, they don't want to have a PC, then they're gonna have to buy an Xbox for it. So a year is a good enough time. It's just enough time for them to hop up sales, and it's solid.
Yeah, I personally think that's a win either way, but honestly, I'm going to go against what you guys are saying because that's what I like to do. But
Mr. Salty,
yeah,
stay salty. Hashtag.
I just think that I don't know, man. I feel like Bluehole, just like I said, they have a lot of things on their table, and they're a small dev team. So they got to deal with their PC sides, and they're barely keeping up with that. And the fact, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Xbox does this. They've done it with Tomb Raider, and, they were the publisher for that, and it came out for PlayStation. But I counter that argument, the fact that they've been sending their engineers there, and they're sharing, the information that Rare has with the water effects. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Yeah, they're water tech.
The fact that they're putting a physical copy out there that says console exclusive. I don't know. There's some interesting things at work here.
Well, you got to think about how the gaming has changed over the past 5 years, or hell, at least since the original Xbox came out. Man, it's in 2017. It's way different than 2013. The way the media goes and way Sony and Microsoft are marketing now, I mean, it's way different. You know that, just being a gaming fan, and we all do.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's tough, but I think that they're going to have the chance to, evaluate the way the game goes and progresses on Xbox One X, and then if it sells enough, I think they might go to the table with Bluehole and iron down something. So that's just my take. You guys can make me eat crow later on, which
I could agree with that. What you're saying there. I mean, if the sales are really good, absolutely, Microsoft, I'll go to the table with Bluehole and do what they need to do. I mean, that's the smart thing to do.
I think though, if it sells really well, Sony will break out their little, their piggy bank of extra funds in reserve and try their damnedest. That's why I say I think it'll come to the PlayStation. If it sells really well on Xbox, like it has on PC, Sony will try their hardest to get it on their console. But I mean, like Salty said, it's all going to depend on sales at the end of the day.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about the Switch. Nick, you had an unboxing on your channel. I don't know if you guys got the chance to take a look at that, but so there's two people on the panel that have Switches, and I want to get your information on it because I definitely have been, keeping an eye on the Switch. It's definitely a console that I want to get. What's your take on after you got your hands on the Switch? Does it feel cheap to you? I mean, that charge station looked kind of wonky to me. Like, what's your take on it, Nick? Like, how does it feel to be a Switch owner?
First off, let me start by addressing the chat here. Levi, get the fuck out. PSN, get the fuck out. Let's start there. All right. So now I got that out of the way. I love the Switch. I mean, the charging port, that part feels cheap. I don't really the Joy-Con controllers are just kind of they're iffy.
You can say crap. It's okay.
Right. And so that's addressed by getting the Pro controller or whatever. But as far as hardware wise, it feels cheap, but what I just being able to just slide that into the slot and play on your TV and then immediately slide it off and continue to play on your on the handheld is one of the coolest things I've ever experienced, honestly. Because I literally put it on the TV, slide it out, and it's in 100%, HD both ways around. There's no like resolution, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but it's great. And so this I've figured out, I said on Twitter, I found the cure to my Xbox exclusive and single player woes, and that was the Switch, because there's going to be a lot of things to put on the Switch. And I think it's going to be worth every penny that I spent on it so far. I'm going to probably get a Pro controller around Black Friday just to fix that issue, because I don't like the Joy-Cons. They're just really small.
Everybody says they don't like the
really
Joy-Cons.
small. So it's just like whatever. But as far as just the whole slide it in, play on your TV, pick it up and go, that's really cool. And I've done that multiple times. Literally played on my TV, went to bed, and I played it on my TV like last night, took it out, went to bed, and literally played it for like another hour laying in bed. So I mean,
how was the screen, man? Since you have one, I'm gonna ask you. Because it's 720, right? And on portable mode, how does that look?
It looks really good
compared to watching it on your TV.
Right. Compared to watching on TV, you can tell there's a little bit of resolution difference, but it still looks really good. I mean, it looks better than
that's what I was wondering.
My cell phone, but it looks great. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's really, really good, and it's really surprising. When I first saw the Switch, I thought it was a cool idea. Oh, this is neat for Nintendo to do a sort of hybrid console. But when you actually play it and you get your hands on it, you're like, oh man, this is really cool. And it blew my expectations out of the water.
That's good, man. Punk Kid, is you there? Did you fix the mic problems? Hello.
I don't know. Do I still sound terrible? What?
No, you sound good. We were just having some echo problems. So you have a Switch as well. What's your thoughts and impressions on that, since you have it physically? Like, I just want to hear from you guys.
Man, honestly, I haven't put in. I can't sit here and say I've put in tons of hours on it, because I haven't. Like I said, I played a lot of Splatoon on it. I did probably put in the most hours with the Zelda when it came out. Everything about that game was phenomenal. I have nothing bad to say about that. But besides that, no, it's a great console, man. I think it's definitely not an everyday console. It's something great to pick up and play, but you're not gonna hardcore game on it every day.
Yeah,
that's good. Cool, man. Well, I just wanted to get the take from you guys, because I saw Nick do his unboxing of the Happy Meal, and he was super stoked last night.
Happy Meal.
So, super size fries.
I thought his Switch came with a side of fries, man.
Look, man. All I gotta say is this, bro. If you thought that I was eating Happy Meal size fries, you got nothing coming to you, bro. Honestly, all right. I do medium or more. I don't do no Happy Meal fries. I'm sad you man. This dude over here trolling in my video talking about looks like you did a McDonald's unboxing too. Get the hell
out. Hey, you gotta direct me to the McDonald's if they're shoving Switches and Happy Meals, man.
That's funny.
Switches in there.
Yeah, funny.
I will be on that. Just tell me where, man. All right, so I don't know if you. I don't know if you guys knew this, but a console's coming out this week. Have you guys heard about that?
What? No, tell me about it.
What is that? The PS5?
I bet it's whack too, bro.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty whack. It's like the Xbox One X. I don't know. Something like that.
The 1Z. 1Z, I think.
The onesie, yeah.
Yeah, it's
the Xbox onesie, bro.
Yeah.
So anyway, we talked about this last week. Xbox decided to send out, these early review consoles out to a lot of people that have been hating on the brand. So that was a big thing. But now we're dealing with some completely different things, okay? So the reviews are in, the NDA has been lifted. And, man, I listened to a video by Dealer Gaming. You should go check it out, actually. He discussed, some of these things. And he keeps it real. Just keep it real here in gaming. It's not, we gotta call a spade. Sometimes we have some good things, sometimes we have some bad things. So Xbox decided to give these consoles out, and let's be honest, the 4K patches weren't out for a majority of the games that these guys got. Okay, so they're getting these 4K consoles that are specifically made for 4K, and the games that they were playing didn't have the patches, and Microsoft knew this, and they pushed the console out. That's the first issue that was there, okay?
Yeah.
So I want to know from you guys, like, how did this happen? Because you've seen the list of, the 4K patches that are coming out for the console, and the list is a mile long. It's like over 130 games.
I can tell you how it happened. Stupidity on Microsoft's part. Why would you not push the embargo back to like at least Saturday or Sunday when more patches were up and available? Because I watched, unless like you did, and I'm sure Nick did, I'm sure Punkittish did. These people I saw some of these reviews, and one of these reviews was like, if you don't got a 4K TV, don't buy it. I'm like, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, what? Because there is this 1080p benefit if you just got a 1080p TV. And it's another nail in the stupidity of what Microsoft's marketing team does. I mean, you tout this system as a 4K system, and they can do 4K games. And we got over 140 games, with 4K patches. Why would you not, at least if you're going to lift the embargo on the 3rd, why not have more games patches available on the 3rd? If you're not going to have them available on the 3rd, push the embargo back to freaking Monday, tomorrow. So, I mean, these people, did you sit these free consoles too would have a better understanding of what the X can do? I mean, do y'all agree? I mean, am I the only wrong?
So here at the Saltiest podcast, we like to keep it salty. So here's the deal. So we're going to give you a side of salt, right? It's going to be a lot. It's going to taste bad in your mouth. So we give you the bad first, and then we're going to kind of rip the Band-Aid off, and then we'll give you the good, okay? We'll give you a little candy from Halloween after that. So it's not going to all be negative. So just to let you guys know. But I do want to talk about the negative because it is there. So, Nick, why did they let this happen, man? I mean, okay, so they're getting slammed because they don't have games. That's fine. But to not get these patches out and make the games that you're trying to showcase your consoles off, like, how did this happen, brother? Like, what is going on with Microsoft and Xbox? I just want to hear your take. Hit me. Okay, moving on to Punkittish. What's your take on it, my friend?
Wait, Nick, are you back?
Sorry, bro. I'm thinking, man. Go to Punk. Go to Punk.
Well, my thing is, I mean, when they're releasing these patches, and everybody saw the package that everyone got in the mail. If you're gonna give them 20 games, at least give them the 20 games with those patches ready. Now people are putting out videos saying, "Hey, this is the Xbox One X version of this game," and it looks like the damn regular version. So it's not a good look for them.
No.
So to me, that's what their main focus should have been. At least have those games ready. I can understand if you want to do the 70 within the week or whatnot, which is good, but you got to have those ready if you're going to do that.
Sir.
That was a big slip.
All right, so Nick, did you get the engine wound up?
It just seems like
Nick was busy playing the Switch.
Nah, wait.
He's playing the Switch.
Bro.
It just seems like bad. It almost seems like this news was when they started showing us all these 4K patches and upgrades. It almost seems like that was like a sort of a split-second decision.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like it was a rush decision. Like, oh my gosh, this is a great idea. Let's give all these things a 4K patch upgrade and everything like that. And it seems like maybe they got a little bit ahead of themselves.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of rushing things, but now they can't get it out. But that's just bad management. You know what I mean? That's just bad, terrible. I mean, to me, it's not the biggest thing. No. It's not the biggest thing in the world to not have those patches ready. But if you spent the last 2 weeks bragging about how you're having all these 4K patch updates come out, and then all of a sudden come to find out they're not going to be there day one, like what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's a bad look for real. To me, it's not a huge deal. I probably won't get next, until a little bit later, unless miracle happens and I'm able to get one. But yeah, I mean, it's just a bad look, really. Why talk about it and brag about it, and then all of a sudden, we won't have it until later. It's just terrible.
All that did was give media a reason to bash the X. That's all it did. Y'all agree, I'm sure.
Yeah, and you think that Microsoft and Xbox would learn from history, right? I mean, this is the console that's supposed to rectify 2013, right? This is supposed to write a new chapter for Xbox, and this isn't good. I mean, the bottom line is this comes down to planning. I don't know who's responsible for it, but Shannon Loftus. We immediately blame everything on Shannon Loftus, even if it's not our fault.
Blame Shannon Loftus.
But I think this comes down to a marketing thing, honestly, because it is marketing, right? When it boils down to it, I wouldn't specifically say that I know who's responsible for this, but they need to do better, man. I mean, this is a whiff. One on the negative side. Let's talk about. I don't know. I'm gonna go positive and then another negative. Okay, so there's been some video leaked out that confirms that games are ridiculously more fast. So the load times are way faster on the X, and this is awesome. I mean,
40%, they say.
Yeah, so we had the numbers that were like, okay, you're going to get faster load times, right? So you hear that and you're like, okay, it might be a little bit faster, but this is significant, people. We're talking about, this guy had a video, I forgot who it is, I apologize, but he loaded up GTA 5 and it was a difference between a minute plus and then 20 seconds. This was the story campaign. So that is significant. One of my main gripes this generation has been the load times for these games. I don't know if you guys have experienced this.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
They're terrible.
You're waiting forever to get into games, man. So this alone, the load time situation is awesome, man. I mean, you guys have been sitting there and it's like, if you have to redo things, it's like, oh, I got to wait through the load times again, or, you know what I'm saying? So this is a plus. Yeah. So mark one in the plus section for Microsoft. So we got one negative, one plus. So what do you guys think about the load times? Do you think this is a good feature? Obviously, this is pretty just kind of a quick fire response.
Can't be a bad feature.
It's good, bro.
Yeah, the load time. Man, the load times are going to be significantly faster.
Did you see the Assassin's Creed load time comparison? I don't remember who did it now. I don't know if it was IGN or it was GameSpot. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. What happened?
I don't know what stage, because I don't have the game. I don't know what stage they were loading in. It might have been the beginning, the very beginning. But on the Xbox One S, it took 1 minute and 45 seconds to load up and get into on the map. And then on the X, it took 45 seconds. That's a huge deal. I saw that on Friday. Hey, it's huge. If anybody else say that is, it's whatever, it's just fluff, that's just something else. That's Microsoft just whatever, blowing smoke up our ass. That's not that big a deal. You're crazy. You get tired of waiting, like you're saying, waiting for a load screen. Or the Eagle. I don't know if y'all saw the Mooch. Mooch tonight was talking to JKB. JKB says when you're playing the Assassin's Creed Origins and you're using the Hawk or the Eagle, whatever, and the farther you go away, using the Eagle or Hawk, whatever it is, to look at, fly away from your character, when you hit back your button to go back inside your character, the further you go away, it takes longer for it to like come back to you. And he said on the S, it could be said on the S, it would take, the further it went away, it would take like 20, 25 seconds. And then he said on the X, it would take like almost like no matter where you went, it would take like 5 seconds to actually go back into your character. That's a huge deal.
So that's one of the things that I feel like Xbox could do a better job with their marketing, you know? Like, I feel like they could, you know, promote these features better with the X, because a lot of people, you know, don't get this it'd be like faster load times, and maybe they could, you know, show the difference or something in those consoles that they gave out to the media to do the reviews on. They had this like side-by-side stat comparison and breakdowns of, you know, the difference between the S, the X, and then the Pro and the Slim.
Yeah,
this is a feature that is a selling point for the console, and I just think it's glossed over. But it's one of the things that just makes things easier when it comes to the Xbox One X, you know? So when you're talking about selling points for this console, you know, this is a selling point. You don't necessarily think about it, but it's definitely something that's there.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, let's talk about something that, you know, is negative. Super Lucky's Tale. Wow. This has to do with Shannon Loftus. She's in charge of first-party studios at Xbox. So, in chat, are you guys going to be picking up this Super Lucky's Tale? You guys excited for this? Hit 1 if you are, and 2 if hell no, I don't care about this game. The news came out, the reviews are coming out about this game, and it's in the low 60s on Metacritic. So
that's terrible.
It's bombing. Man, I got so much to say about this, because first of all, they're wasting resources, you know, time, money into this game. I understand that they're trying to diversify the lineup, but man, I want to hear from you guys, man. I've been talking a lot. Let's start with Punk Kiddish. So this game is getting, you know, dive bombed in Metacritic, and what's your take on it, man? Like, what's going on with Super Lucky?
Everyone's going to know it looks like as a more kid game. I still think majority of Xbox gamers, or gamers in general, are still, I don't know, 18 and older. I feel like that's the majority where we all stand. And then on top of that, when you want to showcase bigger games, since you're pushing 4K, and then that's the first thing they're going to dog on, to say, oh, it's a small game. Of course it's going to do 4K. And I think that alone is what kills it, especially for the hardcore. Everyone's going to know it's going to push 4K on that. It's too easy. You know, everybody wants to see what this thing can do. And yeah, as time goes on, we probably will get more AAA games that can, you know, squeeze all the juice out of it, so to speak, you know? So Super Lucky's Tale, it's getting a bad rep. I don't want to say it's going to be a terrible game. I mean, I'm not going to go out on day one and buy it. You know, if someone wants to gift it to me or something like that, or I'm just really that bored and want to jump in. But I mean, that's pretty much my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Jacob, what's going on, man? I know you got stuff to say about this.
Well, let me start with Super Lucky's Tale. For one, I don't know why it's getting dogged. I mean, I haven't played it, you know, but I think they could have. I'll say I don't know why it's getting dogged, but I do at the same time. It's I think a lot of people look at it as a Conker's Bad Fur Day PG edition, and I think the Xbox community, we're an older generation, and we like people said, Xbox is the shooter box, and we like mature games, and I think majority of Xbox fans are older people, and I know, granted, I know younger people still play, or younger kids still play Xbox, but I think the reason why it's getting dogged is, one, for the media, 2, because everybody wanted Conker's Bad Fur Day when they first saw that announced, or they thought it was going to be that, and 3, are you really honestly in the chat and all of us, are we really going to honestly go out and buy Conker's Bad Fur Day? No, not not with all the stuff that's coming out, and I just think it's it's the media, and it's just another excuse to rag on a new IP. It's something else for the media and PlayStation fans and PC elitists to to go, look what Microsoft did. They waste all this money on this crap. Let's make it go down, way down in Metacritic so nobody will buy it. I mean, but if you got kids, it's probably a great game, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of people that could care less about Metacritic and all these reviews that come out, and they would see the game on the marketplace and buy it. Nick, what's your take on it, man? Like, what's going on with the first party at Microsoft and Xbox, man? Like, specifically this game.
Well, I mean, personally, I looked at Super Lucky's Tale and I actually, I was like, oh, this looks interesting. I may have to try it.
Where's the mute button? Oh, excuse me. Oh, keep going.
I'm just saying, when I saw the game, it looked interesting to me. But I'm not gonna buy it. Like Punk said, if I got it, gifted or whatever. But it did look interesting. But I can see why it would get bad reviews. It just seems like the IPs right now that Xbox is pushing, besides your Halos and your Gears of War and Forza, are just kind of not doing well. You know what I mean? Like Recore was. I mean, you saw the reviews that Recore got. It was not. You didn't do very well. And I don't know what's going on with their IP, man. I don't know if they're putting if it's a budget issue and they're putting all their chips into the big ones, and then they have these side ones and they're just hoping for a hit or whatever. But it's I could have seen this coming by looking at the game and seeing I watched gameplay videos and I was like, oh, it looks interesting, but it kind of does look sort of cheap, and it reminds me of like he said, Conker's Bad Fur Day, and you remember Spyro on PlayStation. Remind me of that too.
Yeah.
And so I could see why. And it's just unfortunate that Xbox can't seem to expand on the IPs. Like they just keep beating the same horses over and over again.
I'm gonna say this to add to what you're saying, Nick. Conker's Bad Fur Day. Well, I'm not Conker's Bad Fur Day. Super Lucky's Tale. From what I've watched, like gameplay wise, and I'm gonna say this, it probably piss off a lot of people. It looks boring. Has anybody ever? I mean, have y'all?
I've watched the video on it. So here's the problem, man. I feel like the Switch has that market covered, honestly, and the fact that you're gonna release Super Lucky's Tale the same time in the same month as Super Mario Odyssey, like, how does that make any sense? First of all, I know they're on different consoles and you're trying to diversify.
Fair point.
So here's the deal. I've heard some, people that are drinking the Kool-Aid. They're like, "Oh, Super Lucky's Tale, could it be the next, mascot for Xbox?" And I just had, I was just dying laughing, dude. I'm like, you know how long people have brought this game up and how much of a tagline and a punchline this game has been. So I think for the most part, it was dead before it even had a chance. Okay. So people saw this game, and I think it was actually a failed VR experience, or it was a game before it started to be an idea to push it into the, an actual game. But this was approved by Shannon Loftus because she's she's in charge of first party studios. So, let the spade is a spade. The fact that this game, took money and resources that they could have been putting towards other things. And I understand that you need to diversify your lineup, but Microsoft needs to focus on their identity. They have their platform and they have their identity, and it still feels like to me that they don't know what that identity is.
They don't.
Like, I think it's pretty obvious to me, like people that have been with the company for a while, like through 360 and stuff like that. Like if you would say, what is Xbox's identity? And you would say, well, they're the shooter platform, like, the FPS platform, or just shooter in general, because they have Gears and Halo and stuff like that. And then they have the racer. But the Super Lucky's Tale, it's just I think it is just a microcosm of underlying issues.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I think Super Lucky's Tale is going to be the next new IP that Microsoft throws to the side. And
you mean the next Sunset Overdrive?
Yes, or Rise on the Rome. I think it's going to be one and done. Being honest.
My thing is, here's my thing. You mean to tell me that you gave a Super Lucky's Tale and you couldn't give me another Fable?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
that's what they're telling you, Nick.
You tell me that this is what you like I said, the game, like you said, it looks boring. I played it. It looks around me in Spyro. I would, like I said, it looked cool. I don't know what it would play like, but you're gonna give me this versus, you know, another Fable or heck, I any other old Xbox franchise that was good. You know what I mean? Like, what is the problem? Why are they only focusing on the big three and they're not really? Because they used to have a lot of, you know, certain exclusives for the Xbox on the like the regular Xbox and even a little bit on the 360. What happened to those games?
Yep.
That's what I want to know. Like, what happened to those games? I remember when the Xbox first came out, my buddy had it. He had all of these games, dude. I mean, he had a bunch of Xbox exclusives, Fusion Frenzy, Jade Empire, games like that. I know Jade Empire is BioWare, so they couldn't do anything about that. But what happened to all those games? Like, it seemed like they were on the right track. 360 came out, it became the shooter box. They figured it out, and then they abandoned that concept with the Xbox One. So it seems like Sonny said, the identity is not really there, and they better figure it out real quick.
Agreed.
Yeah, I just thought I'd get that out there because I saw it a couple times. I'm like, man, this game is getting trashed right now. So apparently, Randy
want to play it though.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the deal. That's the thing. I think that's the underlying issue. So, like with these exclusives that Microsoft has, a lot of them are just like, man, I would play that if I got a huge discount on it, or I'll get it later, or I'll get it when it goes free with gold. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we're rushing out to buy these games day one. Like Horizon Zero Dawn on PlayStation, people were like, I gotta have that game day one. I can't wait to get it. Boom, they get it day one. They don't care about the price. But with
I bought that day one with the statue with Aloy. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. So that's the issue here. It's just Microsoft needs to have these banger titles that people want to go out and pay full price for, and they want to purchase day one, and they want to have excitement for, and it's just not there for these titles. So hopefully,
Fable.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Ain't Super Lucky's Tale $30?
Yeah, it was like $30 or $40. It blew my mind. If someone knows the price.
It's $30. I'm pretty sure. I think that's going to be its only saving grace. I'll be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Needs to be 20.
Yeah, I honestly think $30 is too much for that price. Because I was talking about Super Lucky's Tale, and I saw the price because I forgot who I was talking to in my party, but I was like, oh, whoa, $30. I'm like, I thought it was like $20 or something. Like,
it was me, bro. It was me.
Because
Cuphead, that's not too bad. And you were like $30. No, I ain't doing that. It's trash.
Cuphead's amazing.
Cuphead came out and it was $20, right?
Cuphead was fantastic for $20, man.
Cuphead
I still haven't beat it.
And this game is $30. I mean, it is what it is. I guess you could see value in whatever game you want to get, but I think Cuphead was way more popular of a title, and that came out at a price point of $20, and this is hitting at $30, and it's coming out at the same time as Mario Odyssey. I don't know, man. It's
bad timing. I agree with you, Salty. It's bad timing. Them putting Super Lucky's Tale up against Super Mario Odyssey. I think it's a bad decision.
Super Mario Odyssey, you still have an Xbox fan base that you think would support.
No, they're not going to.
They're not going to. It was a bad move.
You're right.
It was a bad move, and nobody was clamoring for Super Lucky's Tale, and you should have known that whenever you released it. But somehow you still believed in it and put it out. I don't know what the deal was. You know, I guess it's that Shannon Loftus baby. She wanted to go down with the ship, but it's going down.
So here's the Levi. I know you're. You know, who gives a flying crap about this? So here's the deal. It's not so much Super Lucky's Tale, as in it's Microsoft's vision. Like, the reason why we're talking about this is because it's the bigger problem, the underlying problem of the brand, and why people are upset right now. Like, let's be honest, like, they're releasing the most powerful console ever made, and people are bashing them for not having games. That's one of the main issues, and one of the main things that people are bringing up when they're doing these reviews. They're like, okay, this console is really powerful, blah blah blah, but it still has no games.
What's the game? What's the game other than Super Lucky's Tale that they're releasing on November 7th with the Xbox One X? I can't think of any.
They have Forza 7, but that came out earlier.
I said on day one with the Xbox One X.
Nothing.
So your launch title is Super Lucky Tale.
That's
got
terrible.
A low 60 on Metacritic.
That's terrible.
And that's what you're going to be trying to move consoles. And then you're saying that the console's not for everybody, and you're saying it's a premium console. It's just like, come on, Microsoft, man.
And then you got these guys that got the review units saying if you ain't got a 4K TV, you don't need to pick it up. That you gave 20 free games to and gave the whole shebang to. I mean, really, get out of here. Don't get me started.
So that's a big issue, man. I mean, so the media was, all through since 2013 up till right meow. They've been saying, resolution. That's the big issue. They've been doing side-by-side comparisons, blah, blah, blah. But now it's moved to games, and it's still games. And it's going to continue to be games that they don't have games.
Yeah.
So, Microsoft, like, what are they going to have to do to get out of this hole that they've dug themselves into?
That's what I'm saying. 2018 is going to have to be huge, man. 2018 is going to have to be huge. I mean, you're going to have to have something.
They need another Gears of War or another Halo and I hate to keep going back to shooters, but they need something like that. They need a brand recognition character. They need something like Marcus Phoenix. They need a Master Chief. They need a Sonic. They need a Mario. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They need something. Super Lucky's Tale is not going to get that for them now.
Yeah, but as Microsoft, we're still going to eat it in here. Here's another Halo.
Of course.
And it does suck. It does suck that that's the way it is, but unfortunately, that's the way it is.
Of course.
So
we just can't win the hole so damn deep.
Yeah, it feels like a no-win situation for them. So that's why I kind of feel like they're moving towards the power narrative. Because number one, they're about. So here's the deal. PlayStation has sold over twice the amount of Xbox. So PS4s have sold, double the amount of Xbox Ones. But the profit margin between PlayStation and Xbox One isn't that big. I think they're only like 15%. They're making 15% more than Xbox, okay? Yeah. So PlayStation's looking into, microtransactions and stuff like that. So a lot of people are worried that, Xbox is moving towards this most powerful narrative so they can just push AAA multiplats, you know what I'm saying, and not have to worry about console exclusives because of the money it takes to make them. And the only way you're going to change people's opinion on this is if you release a game that is on the level of Halo and Gears and stuff like that. But honestly, with the things that Shannon Loftus has said, I honestly don't think that they're going to, be coming out with a game on that level. Because she was like, yeah, the market's changed. We're in a different time period than the 360. It's hard to, make a game like that. And it's just like, dang, dude, like, what are you guys doing? Well,
this comes down to the subject that's, we've been talking, I've been at least talking about it, is these publishers are seeing the way the market's going and they don't want to spend money on a title that they think is going to flop or put resources in anything that's going to flop. And I mean, but they just put resources into a game that flopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like,
now the playing scared.
If she's gonna, exactly. If she's gonna say, that just come on now. I mean, how many more Halos and Gears can we have? We need something. You know what I mean?
We need to take
and I know they're gonna run with the power narrative, but the power narrative is only gonna get you so far. I mean, we can play multiplats on it, and that's what I'm gonna end up doing. But before before I end up getting a PC, but I'll probably just play multiplats on the Xbox One X, and then that's it.
Because that's what pisses me off so much about Quantum Break. It may have sold. I don't know how much it sold, but it may have sold 1 million. I think it did over 1 million or whatever. But it doesn't matter. It seems like no matter what Microsoft does, the fans don't support it. And that's what really irks me because Quantum Break is such a great game. And you get to play the game and you get to play. Then you get to sit back and sit your controller down and watch the TV show. And I thought that was fantastic. I brought it up last week. I mean, you've never seen anything like that, but we'll never see another Quantum Break 2. No.
I think, it just comes down to, like you said, the fans aren't going to support it. They know what their audience plays. They are the shooter box. Most of their people play Call of Duties and all the shooter games like that, and that's what's being played on the Xbox One X. So, I mean, they can put out as many exclusives as they can, but it's up to us ultimately to support them. But they keep putting out crap though. So, they did put out some bomb ones like, Sunset Overdrive and Quantum Break and Rise. And how many people actually supported them, coming out the gate. I know for a fact the only one I played was Sunset Overdrive. You know what I mean? I didn't support him, and that's my bad. As soon as I got the Xbox,
played that because it was games with gold, right?
Right. Well, yeah.
Or did you buy it when it came out?
Exactly. Games with gold. And then as soon as I got an Xbox One, the first game I really played was Destiny and other shooters like that.
And I'm gonna tell you, I bought Rise Son of Rome because it was one of the few games other than Forza 5. I bought that day one. I bought Sunset Overdrive day one. I bought Quantum Break. Waited on Quantum Break because they announced it in 2013, and I saw it at the E3 conference. I saw that, and I was like, damn, that looks fantastic because I am a Back to the Future baby. I mean, I grew up in that era, so I love time travel. I supported all those, and it still didn't matter. My one purchase didn't do a damn thing.
Nope, they needed more support. They're not getting it, and they know what their audience wants. So I guess the power narrative is we have the most powerful console, and you can play all your multiplats on the most powerful console, and that's pretty much it. And that's why PUBG, they're pushing PUBG so hard because they know what their audience wants. PUBG, you can bet there's gonna be a lot of people playing PUBG.
It's because they didn't have to develop that game.
And that too.
They just sit back and then they see what's popping. They sneak in there like, hey, you want to be an exclusive for a little bit?
Well, isn't that what they did with Halo? I mean, wasn't Halo supposed to be a Macintosh exclusive?
It was, yeah. I guess on that level it is, but that was an actual studio. You know what I'm saying? Right. But yeah, I mean, that's the stigma that they have, But so this kind of drains into Paris Games Week. So let's talk about our impressions. First of all, because PlayStation had a good showing. That's fine, but essentially, what PlayStation had, we'll talk about this briefly, but they had a lot of CG trailers for a lot of their games. They announced some of their games, and some of these games are going to be coming out for 4 to 5 years.
Oh no!
So, who had a chance to watch Paris Games Week? I know Nick didn't.
You let me out of this one. I'm a busy ass week.
Anyway, I'll just give you an overview. So basically, I just want to talk about the concept of it. You guys don't even need to know what was going on with that. So basically, PlayStation's approach was to show these CG trailers for games that don't have release dates, and then Microsoft came out and they said, we're not doing this. Phil came out this year in 2017 and he said, that the strategy of showing these CG trailers and announcing games, 4 to 5 years off is over. So I had a big
I agree with that.
I had a big discussion with Porter Rock on social media about this, and first of all, I believe that not one company is fully right or fully wrong. Okay, that's my take on it. But I want to hear you. So PlayStation's approach is to show people all the games. Doesn't matter if they're going to be coming out 4 to 5 years or 6 years or whatever. And then they get people hyped on games, and that's fine. People know that the company's invested in the games, and big list of games that they can say, hey, this game's coming out. I don't know when it's going to be coming out, but my company that I'm supporting is making games. But then you have Microsoft on the other hand, that they canceled Scalebound and then some other games, and Phil came out and said, "Hey,
fuck Microsoft for that." By the way,
he's still on that.
I love that, dude. I wanted Scalebound so bad.
Everybody did.
So Microsoft said, "Hey, we're going against this model, and we're only going to be talking about games that are coming out within the next couple years." So what's your guys' take on that? Like, who's in the right, who's in the wrong? Like, are they both? Like, Nick, do you want to start off?
It comes down to me, it's going to come down to your fan base. Sony knows that their fan base supports all their most of their exclusives. So Sony can just show whatever they want, and their fans are going to be hyped. Oh my gosh, 5 years down the road, we're going to get this, and this. Xbox knows that. Do you remember half the games that were at E3 this year? during the Xbox Xbox conference? I remember Anthem. That's about it. That's about it.
Yep.
That's about it. I remember Anthem. That's about it. So there's your point right there. They already know it's not benefit for them to show something 5 years out. Their fan base isn't going to remember. They're going to keep playing COD. They're going to keep playing Destiny. They're going to keep playing all the multiplats. So it's not in their best interest to do that. So yeah, they're both right. Sony's right because they already know our fans are going to keep up with it and they're going to be excited about it. Xbox One knows it's not really going to help us at all. So I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm. So you're on in Xbox's corner for their approach then? Is that essentially what you're saying?
I'm in the Xbox's corner for their approach because like I said, do you remember half the games at E3 this year that they showed? No, I don't.
No, neither.
No.
So why would they do essentially the same thing but 4 or 5 years in advance? You know,
I agree with Nick. Unless it's AAAs, and this is the truth. Unless these AAA games, like what we grew up on, AAAs, not indies. Well, we started with indies. Let's just say that we started. What we played back in the day was indies. Compared, if you look at it, what they look like now, they were indies. But unless it's AAAs now, the community, the whole society does not remember anything unless it's the Call of Duties, the Halos, the what would have been the Scalebound. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to remember it. So Sony keeps showing all that crap because the PlayStation fans are used to having that same shit shoveled in their mouth every time. And I didn't watch the Paris Game Show because I don't really give a shit. I mean, I have PlayStation. I've had every PlayStation ever made. And the only thing I watched was the Last of Us 2, the other trailer, and then it got some big uproar about the violence, which is it's just so stupid. Oh, breaking my arm and doing all. I mean, get out of here! It's a freaking video game. Shut up. But I didn't realize. I knew I clicked on the Last of Us 2 trailer, but like at the end of it, I didn't realize I was watching. I thought, did I click on something different? I thought I was watching a Days Gone trailer. Until the clicker showed up at the end. That's the God's honest truth. I was like, oh, yeah, I did click on the right thing.
That trailer was amazing.
So
it was. But it sent the wrong message. Everybody, I mean, I thought I was watching Days Gone.
So the problem is what Microsoft is coming up against is the fact that, PlayStation can show these games that have no dates or release dates or not even close to being released. You might be 5 years out. And then the PlayStation people get the list of games. They'll compile this list, and then they compare it up against the Xbox list. They're like, see, Xbox has no games. And that's exactly what I ran into on social media, okay? The fact that, that's used against Microsoft now because, even though, like, my point of this whole thing is what I was trying to say about PlayStation's approach is when you do it like this, so you announce a game that's potentially 4 or 5 years out, you're going to be showing the game like over and over at E3. So PlayStation's E3 conference this year was almost a cookie cutter. So you could have cut it out, and all the games that were shown for the most part were shown in 2016. It was like almost carbon copy, right?
They were. Yep.
So that's the problem that you run into is because people just get tired of seeing the same shit. Okay, let's be honest.
Yep.
So if they see a game, 2017, then 18, then 19, then 20, it's just like when it's going to be coming out, are you going to be as hyped? And that's the problem that Cuphead came across because it was announced, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then the hype kind of died down, but they were able to overcome that. So, I don't know, man. Like I said, I think that Microsoft needs to make good on its promise to come out with exclusives. And they're going to have that chance with some of the upcoming titles in 2018, with the Sea of Thieves and the, State of Decay 2 and the Crackdowns and stuff like that. But they need to deliver on that, or this narrative is going to be repeated over and over by the media. It's not going to be going away. So
I think if they delay Crackdown again, it's going to be a hard sell for exactly. It's going to be a hard sell for Microsoft to keep touting the power of Crackdown 3 and the cloud and all this crap, dude. They've delayed it so many times.
That multiplayer just going to be off the chain.
Well, quick question: Who's you already said who's actually excited for Crackdown 3? Like, now that they keep pushing it back.
Not
I'll
me.
still buy it.
I mean, I'll buy it, but I ain't excited about it.
I don't know.
The Western wore off for me too. But go ahead.
Yeah, it has some aspects to it. I like playing multiplayer with my friends. So,
oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm worried about that title. Like, I'm worried about it even being published at this point. I think it might be canceled.
Me too.
So,
it could go that route.
But we've seen a lot of examples of games that were delayed, like Cuphead, for example. It was delayed to make it better, and it came out, and it was a huge success, and it was an awesome game.
To make it easier.
Yeah. So, yeah. The funny thing is they delayed that game to make it easier, and it's still hard as shit.
It's still hard, bro.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting, man. So, anyway, there's an interesting news story that came out about 4K gaming and data caps. It's interesting. So, a game that you were talking about, Jago, is Quantum Break. Did you see the file size for that game?
Oh yeah, it's over 100. I don't remember what it's exactly. I know it's over 100 gigs. Woo! Good God,
that's huge. And I think 70 gigs of that is because of the movie that they put in there.
The TV show. The TV show. Yeah. It's worth it though. I would download it or put it on the X. Mm-hmm. Oh, most definitely. It's a good time. You play as the good guy in the game, and then you see the bad guy's his point of view in the TV show. Man, it's worth it. I mean, you can take him. You can play the game and the time powers, everything, the gameplay, everything. I love the story, love everything about it, and then you get to sit down and you get to like chill, do whatever. You can eat some dinner while you're sitting there watching. It's like a 30-minute TV show. And I'm okay with that. It was a great concept, and it's not getting a sequel. We'll never see nothing like that ever again.
No, we won't, dude.
Nope.
It's unfortunate because I bought that. I think Shameless, the guy that I game share with, he bought it day one, and it's an awesome game. I mean, I was blown away with the way they did that. But this game specifically is the poster child of huge downloads for.
Yep.
The future of these 4K patches. So it was an interesting article that brought up because I guess this guy had a 1 terabyte data cap on his internet. I don't know. People in chat, do you guys have data caps on your internet, your ISP?
Well, Death Mobile, he just made a good point in chat, and he's right. You don't have to download the TV show. You can just download the game. You can just skip. Yeah, whatever how they're doing it, you can skip the big download for the TV show, however how they're working that. But he made a good point, and he's right because they already said it on social media.
Yeah, that's a good point, but I think a lot of these news stories won't even mention that. You know what I'm saying? They're just trying to push their narrative, make it negative or whatever. So,
of course,
chat, type 1 if you have a data cap on your ISP, type 2 if you don't. I'm curious to see, if you guys have data caps. I personally don't have a data cap with my internet, but there are a lot of people out there, believe it or not, that do have data caps, and they can hit that pretty easily if they don't pay attention to it. So, with the way it is, some people have got to think about this when it comes to moving into this 4K territory, because it's one of these things that we haven't had to deal with, these huge file sizes and whatever. So it's just another way for the media to push some negative agenda against the X. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the file sizes are huge, so you got to worry about data caps. I did a video on this a long time ago on my channel, like right when it was off the ground, and
let me ask you a question, Salty. And we don't have an X yet. None of us do. But have you read anything? I was thinking about this today. If you have an X, you're not forced to download the 4K assets if you don't want them, are you? I don't know.
No,
I don't have an X. I mean,
it kind of
defeats the purpose of buying the console.
I mean, I got that. But
you're saying,
the games will still run better and look better without the 4K assets. You know that they'll still look better
Well,
and run better.
You'll have the faster run times, and
yeah,
they're saying a lot of these games just have a bump in resolution without even a patch.
And if you're somebody who has a data cap and you run out of you've run to your data cap or whatever, you can't download. You can still get the game and it'll look better. Put it in your X and look better. You can just wait till the next month to download the 4K assets. I mean that's another plus. I mean you can still play them; it'll look better, but you can just wait till.
If you're right,
go ahead, Salty.
Interrupt you.
No, you're good. You're good.
There's the pre-download option that they've instituted, and that's the reason why they did that, because they want you to prepare for the situation. But I know a lot of people don't pay attention to that stuff. But it's something. So portable hard drives are another thing. I have one. But I personally bought like a 2 or 3 terabyte, and mine's like maxed, and that's just basic games, So you're gonna be looking at having an 8 terabyte hard drive or whatever. I don't know what I'm gonna try to buy to prep for the future. But there's the portable hard drives. There's the data caps on your internet. These are just some of the things that we need to think about going forward with future of Xbox and then gaming in general. So it's interesting. I mean, not a lot of people are going to run across it, but it's just something to think about coming out relatively shortly. So we have one more topic that I want to talk about, and then we'll get out of here. I know lots of people want to get playing here. I do appreciate everybody that is in chat. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for participating. Like I said, this is why I do my channel. I'm passionate about gaming, and I love talking about it. We all love talking about it. That's why you see that, you hear the passion in our voices. So anyway, Nick brought this topic up to me, and it's interesting. So don't pay attention necessarily to the title of the game that I'm going to talk about, because I know probably 99% of you people don't care about this game. So StarCraft 2, they had BlizzCon, right? And it's a huge conference for Blizzard Entertainment. StarCraft 2 was announced that it's going to go free to play. So this is interesting because StarCraft 2 has been around for a long time, and it's cost money. It's a game that people have to pay for. But they've announced that it's going to go free to play. So it's interesting to me, like, is this something that we're going to see going forward? A lot more games deciding to go to the free to play model. This kind of falls into the microtransaction situation, and I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people. I wanted to get to your guys' take. Have you guys played a lot of free to play games? I know personally I'm playing Warframe, and that's one of the best, if not the best free to play game out there right now. So I have a specific take on this. Okay, I have an opinion on this. I'm sure Nick does. If you haven't played a lot, you can bow out of this convo. But we'll start off with. Have you played a lot of free to play games?
No, I really haven't, man. Unless it's on, if it's not Xbox Live Gold the free games, I'm practically not playing it.
All right, Jago, have you played a lot of free to play games? Jago,
have I? No. I think the only maybe 1 or 2 times on my phone, I think Candy Crush was like one of the only games I ever played.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I dropped. I dropped that like a bad. I dropped that like a bad habit because whatever, get out of here. It's like a Tetris wannabe clone. But the only other game I played free to play was brain fart. What's the game y'all been playing?
Warframe.
Warframe, yeah. And it was, and what little bit I did play of that, it was really good. I just had to, life and other games got in the way and stopped playing it. But what I played of it was really good. But I do think if the industry keeps going the way it's going, like Super Lucky's Tales not being supported, is getting trashed, and all the microtransactions that people are trying to throw into games now, and I think that's because games are not being supported, and it costs so much to make games. If the industry keeps going the way it's going, I think that's the way the industry is going to go. It's free to play, and you got to buy a microtransaction to hit start, and that's sad, dude. It really is. But the industry has gotten so expensive now, with AAAs, and I'm gonna be honest, only thing I really give a shit about is AAAs. But if you don't support them, they're gonna go to the free to play narrative, and that's sad. I mean, it really is.
Yep. Nick, what's your take, man? You brought this topic up, so I want to hear from you, man.
I just thought it was interesting because the way they did it is it's free to play to anybody who wanted to play it. And I don't even care about StarCraft. I just thought it was interesting. It's free to play to anybody who wanted to play it. And if you purchased any DLC, any expansions, if you purchased the one expansion, the next expansion was free for you. So if you bought just StarCraft, then you had to pay, you got the next expansion for free, and then so on and so forth. I thought that was an interesting concept. And if this was successful, I could you see more games doing things like this? And could you see the free to play model start to take over the industry a little bit more? Because as we've heard from reports from EA and other publishers, their now goal isn't a single player experience. Their goal is now to make a game that you can play and have an experience that you keep coming back to, and they can monetize it so you can spend money on microtransactions. And so I thought it was interesting that this game that had been out for 5 years and people had paid for expansions, and all of a sudden that they decided to make it free to play to get more players to come back. How would that affect, everything that goes on in the game? And if this is successful, how many more games in the future can you see doing this, such as maybe Destiny or just other games like that? I feel like this might be the way the market is going to go in the future. I feel like sooner rather than later it's going to happen this way, because you hear grumblings. We had to report the BioWare developer that left saying that that's how EA wants to do certain things. And so I just think it's interesting. I think it's something to look out for, because it seems like that's where this is headed. You know what I mean? They want more money, and if they can get away with giving us a game and then having microtransactions as part of the game, and not have a single player experience, and figure out a way to keep us coming back, sort of like cocaine. We talked about how loot boxes are pretty much gambling, and that's addicting. We've talked about that being in games. And so this seems like another sort of trend that's starting to make, for them to make more money. Just thought it was an interesting topic.
Yeah, man, I agree completely. I feel like I have a hard opinion on this because I'm playing Warframe. Who was it that was talking crap about Warframe? I'm about to kick you out of this. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, Warframe is definitely free to play. It doesn't hide that fact. But it's interesting because if Warframe wasn't free to play, I never would have picked the game up. And I think that's true with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So the free to play model is interesting because it gives people a chance to try the game out, right? So then it's kind of like a free test, a free trial, and you don't have to be charged anything. Like my friend Ned, he's very skeptical on playing new games, and he's like, I'm not going to try out Warframe. I have Destiny, and Destiny got really stale, and eventually he caved in because I was on him. I'm like, dude, just try it. And he's actually warming up to the idea, and he's one of the people that never would have probably bought it if it was actual, it had an actual price to it. So it's interesting because I think that the reason, StarCraft is going this direction is because it's been out so long. They're just trying to generate buzz, and they're trying to generate revenue.
Yeah.
Right.
But microtransactions are a part of gaming, and that's just the facts. It's not, it's not going away. But if a company came out and said, hey, we're going to make this a free to play game. So Battleborn, Nick, you bought this game, right? It would have been way more successful if it started off as a free to play game, as opposed to coming out with
versus
Overwatch, if it didn't come out. Yeah. So that game would have benefited if it was a free to play game, and they probably would have made way more money.
You got to remember too that Lawbreakers was supposed to be a free to play game, and I think if that had been a free to play game, it would have been more successful, than what it was. And if Cliff Blazinski hadn't pissed off the Xbox community.
Don't get me started on Cliffy B, man. I don't get the fascination behind him. I'm glad it's died down. It's like, it's almost weird, like the Xbox community, how fascinated they are with that dude. I hope he goes away. But yeah, Lawbreakers would have benefited from being a free-to-play game, but he was stubborn and he didn't want to do that, right? I think it's kind of a knock on his. I don't know, man. I feel like if they brought the game out as free-to-play, people look down on it. But the way the market's going, especially like I'm trying to say with Warframe, it's generating so much money as a free-to-play game that I think that more and more, publishers and developers are going to go that route. It's just the way it is. It's just a counter argument to microtransactions. It's like, we're not going to nickel and dime you on top of the retail price of $60. We're going to nickel and dime you because the game is free, right?
Warframe is actually a good game. What I played of it, and I told y'all last Sunday, or Sunday before last, what I played of it's actually a really good game. It's just the other games I was playing or came out at the time got in the way, but it's actually a pretty good game. I need to get back into it. And if anybody hasn't downloaded that game, it's free. You need to. If you like Destiny or you like a grindy shooter or just a good shooter, you need to download it. It's free.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just something to think about as gamers, like it's a possibility, it's a model that's new and it started off in the mobile market, So I think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to free to play games and a lot of negativity, Like when you think of free to play game, you think of grindy, you think of I'm gonna have to pay for every single thing,
or heck, not even just those types of games, but you have games like that High Res does, like Smite and Paladins, that are free, and most stuff that you buy is for skins and cosmetic stuff, but it's still those games are even successful.
Paladins is great. I actually totally forgot about that one. I did play that. That was actually pretty fun.
So you did play one. Yeah, Paladins is good, man. It's another free-to-play game.
Yeah, it's really good.
The fact is like Xbox One, so I've been playing on, we've been playing on that. I don't think there's any free-to-play games on the 360. There probably was. I'll probably be eating crow again off my statement, but not as many as there's been in this generation,
No.
So I think...
Yeah, it definitely wasn't big in the 360 era.
Yeah, I think moving forward, we'll probably see a lot more of this situation. So, microtransactions and the loot boxes, all this stuff isn't going away. So,
no,
it's something that, we're going to have to talk about it. And, World of Tanks is on the 360. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's going to do it for our topics for the night. I know you guys got to get to the getting here. Like I said before, let's do a little shout out here. Thanks Av, thanks Silent Wyvern, Death Mobile, Levi Valverde, Stinking Corpse. Let me see if I can get any more. Nick Fury, thanks for stopping by. I'm just kidding. All right, let's do the outros. Let's do the outros, peeps. Let's start off with Punk Kiddish Gaming. Thanks for being our special guest tonight.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother.
I had a good time.
All that good stuff.
Just here, Punkish Gaming on Twitter and just Xbox Live currently. You could find me on PlayStation, but also at the same time you can't because I'm never wrong.
Okay.
So it's not even worth a shot. But cool. I had a great time, man. I appreciate you having me on the show.
No problem, bro. Thanks for being here. You said you're going to look into making a YouTube channel in the future?
Yeah, that'll be later on. It'll be after the beginning of the year once I start doing some research and stuff. Like I said, I'm a student. I got to learn, so.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for stopping by again. Jago, you want to tell them where they can find you?
Yeah, it's your boy Jago. You can find me on Xbox and Twitter at Jago Kukin, brother. That's it.
Cool. And yeah, I just started a Discord, so I'll link that in the description for this podcast. I don't have it right off the bat. Well, we're working on getting links going. I'm going to get a mod for the chat, all this stuff. So we'll be working on this. Nick, you want to let them know where they can find you and all that good stuff?
Twitter, YouTube, Nick Fury. How it's spelled in my little picture thing here. And next week, what is next week? The 12th? Is that right? Next week is the 12th.
Oh, the giveaways next week?
Next week is the Star Wars Battlefront 2 giveaway that will be announced here on the podcast. So we have that going. It ends next week. Still going, still live. The link is pinned to my Twitter. If I could post it in the chat, I would. Share it, retweet it, do everything like that. Get the word out. It'll be announced next week.
Good shit.
Awesome. Yeah, Saltiest Gaming, that you're here at the channel, so I don't need to tell you about that. But Saltiest Gaming, one word on Twitter. The I is a 1. Saltiest Gaming, one word on Xbox. I love to talk about games and all things gaming. Social media, I'm very active. We have a great community going on. Like I said, there's a Discord. I'll link that in the description below, and I will put that up on social media again. We are doing that Star Wars. Nick's doing the Star Wars Battlefront 2 giveaway, so that's huge. It's what are you running the giveaway through? It's
on Gleam competition.
It's a Gleam giveaway, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, if you haven't entered that, why not? I mean, what do you got to lose? I mean,
why not?
Just time. So anyway, I appreciate everybody. Like I said in chat, I'm sorry if I missed your name for a shout out. I appreciate Jago and Nick and Punk for being here. That's going to do it for us. Episode 12 of the Saltiest Gaming Podcast. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back with another podcast next week.
Later, guys.
Yeah.